Hey furries! So guess what we're gonna do today, Joelle?
Colors!
Woo! So we are really excited about this tutorial because our kids wear collars and it's a simple way to just get started.
They wear them to school a lot, quite frequently.
Right.
Okay, go ahead.
So what we're going to do, first we're going to go over our materials and the equipment that you will need for this project. It's a simple project, so simple list.
Right. Anybody can do it. Even if you don't sew, you could just follow these steps. You'll be able to do it very easily.
Right.
Okay.
So we are going to be using a sewing machine, but you don't have to. Since it's a small project, you could use just needle and thread.
Could you use fabric glue?
You could. That's a great suggestion. So you could use fabric glue. What I would do, since it's a collar and it's flat, you want to have a flat seam, so I would probably glue it and then weigh it down with a heavy book, or I use a ream of paper when I'm gluing fabric.
Okay, that's a good idea. So you could it could even be a no-sew project.
Absolutely. I wouldn't probably do the iron-on adhesive one because you might melt your materials, because we're going to be using some nylon materials.
Good point.
And also just in the wearing of it, sometimes when things warm up just from your body heat or in the sun, it could start to come open.
Right, right. Okay.
And we don't want that.
Okay.
So the first thing that we are going to need is to give some structure to your collar. We're going to be using some nylon webbing.
And for this, it doesn't matter what color. It matters more the width that you want and the quality. You don't want it too stiff, but you also don't want it woven really loosely either.
Right.
Because you do want some form.
And it will soften over time. You want to grab the old one. You can see that it's got some permanent wrinkles in here, but it's soft. I mean, if you were to put it around your neck, there's some give. It's a little stiffer when it's new.
But also, for the comfort of the wearer, the next thing that we would have would be, right?
Right.
The Minky.
Minky, yeah. And the Minky is soft and it lines the collar, so it just feels really nice next to your skin.
See if you can see that.
And it actually has the border along the front, on the top and bottom, with the Minky, so it looks cool because it's furry. And
it also, I think, protects against the edge of like the ribbon and the webbing for comfort, so it's form and function.
Right. And so the one caveat to your webbing being any color, so if you wanted to go with a white Minky or a light color or light colored top,
good point.
It might show through. I recommend getting a darker Minky because this is going to be around your neck, and necks are dirty.
Yeah, you know, especially if you are wearing it regularly. Yeah,
which we encourage you to do.
Yeah.
So the next piece that you're going to need is the top piece of your collar, which in our case we're using ribbon. And you can use whatever ribbon you like. This is, again, it's just a nylon ribbon that we got at our super awesome fabric store. But you can get whatever you like, and that will be the top. So you want it to be, I mean, soft is okay, but it doesn't have to be super soft because of your Minky.
Now we are going, is that an 1.5 inches?
This is an 1.5 inches wide. Oh, that's a great point.
Yeah.
So our webbing is an 1.5 inches wide, which is nice and dramatic. We were initially going to do thinner, but we really like the look of the 1.5 inches.
Yeah.
Because it really is noticeable.
So I think if you were wanting to wear this and be a little less conspicuous, you could go with a smaller, and it looks more like a choker, right?
You could. I have no idea why you would want to be less conspicuous.
I don't know. Maybe it worked.
Maybe,
I don't know.
But yeah, so you want people to see your cool collar.
We prefer the wider collar.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
so do our young furries.
Yes. So if you're going to get an 1.5 inches wide nylon webbing, you would also want to get 1.5 inches wide ribbon. Now it can be, since you're lining it, it could be slightly thinner. So if this was like 1 1/4 and you loved the ribbon, you could get by with it. Just know that you're going to have a slightly wider border on the top and bottom.
Right.
The other thing that you're going to need is you're going to need a way to fasten your collar around your neck. So you have some options. We are going to use these, again, they're nylon snaps.
Don't know if you guys can see them very well. Hopefully you can.
So they're just little snaps, and we'll try and give you a close-up of those. And you put them in using an awl. You jab it through, and we'll demonstrate. And then you put the pieces together, and you would use, you would use the snap setter to just give it a squeeze like a plier, and it puts it right on. If you don't have this, I think this cost about 30 bucks.
Oh.
If you don't have this, that's no problem. You have options.
Okay.
So one thing that you could use would be like at a fabric store, you can buy the metal, it looks like a button, but it's metal snaps, and you just sew them in, hand sew them in like a button. And I think we have an example of the other, is it this?
Yes.
The snap tape, which is just, it's literally snap tape, and you buy it by the yard. You can order this online, or I think Joann's, or maybe even Walmart has this. So you would just cut off what you need, and then again hand stitch it on so that you could attach.
Right.
And then what else do we need?
And you know, I don't, what is that called? I just call it the thing.
I don't know.
It's
Let me show you. It's this.
And that way you can personalize your collar with whatever kind of tag or
whatever tag
whatever you want.
Yep. And then, so aside from that, all you really need is thread or glue if you're going to do a no-sew project.
And a way to cut. Let's talk about that, because I don't have this beautiful thing here because I don't do a lot of sewing. And this is a rotary mat.
This is, yes, it's a self-healing rotary mat. And
self-healing.
Yes. It really doesn't, though. It's not like it heals. Funny. So, but what I will say is, if you're going to sew other projects, if you want to invest in this, it's not a bad investment. I have had this one for probably 25 years.
Wow. Oh my gosh. You do a lot of stuff, and this doesn't have a lot of damage at all.
It's a little warped here.
Yeah, but
yeah, they last a long time, and I literally bought this probably when I was 18. So
wow, that's awesome.
More than 25 years.
Or not, or maybe it's not more than 25 years. Shh.
And you use a rotary cutter with this. Now these you can replace the blades. These are not a huge investment, and I think that they are awesome. So if you're going to be doing additional projects, a rotary cutter is really handy. And if you're paper crafting, these are handy too. But not to worry.
You can just
plain old scissors.
Plain old scissors.
Plain old, because this is very little cutting. So for this project, use what you have.
Oh, and we will, in the description, we will put the materials and the equipment, everything that we use. We might even do a step-by-step along with the video. I'm not sure yet, but we'll have some information.
It's our first tutorial.
Yeah, it's our very first. Yay, we're excited.
So we're going to go with average size. So this is the one that my son wears, and we all tested it, and it fits all of us. Some with more give than others. So we are using this as our guide, and this finished measurement is 16.5 inches. I have a 12.5 inch neck.
I don't know my neck size.
So
what? I'm sorry. I know that's weird for all of you, but I don't know my neck size. So
I think it's more weird that I do know mine.
No, it's not. It's okay.
Thank you. Thank you for that affirmation. I appreciate it. So obviously, if you measure your neck and it is 16.5 inches, you'll want to go up accordingly. So you want to have, I would say, 3/4 of an inch on either side to overlap.
I just thought of something.
What?
We have a big surprise for them.
What?
You guys are going to have to wait until we are finished. Please stick around. We have a surprise.
Stay tuned all the way to the end.
Yeah, yay.
Help our metrics. It's good for us.
Yeah, it's good for us. Keeps us around.
That's right. So this is our average that we're saying if you're wearing it on a human neck. If you wanted to put it on a fursuit, you'd need to increase accordingly. And you would probably want to maybe go above 1.5 inches wide on your webbing. So we're doing this with 1.5 inch wide webbing, 1.5 inch wide fabric, and our Minky Fabric. And then the length for this, the finished length is 16.5 inches. And you want to have a finished edge. And this is pretty worn, but I'm going to show you anyway. You want to have this edge, so you're going to need what we call a seam allowance. So I'm going to show you how to measure it. We're using this lovely soft Minky as our lining. Isn't it soft and luxurious?
It is so soft. I love it.
It'll feel good next to your skin. So what we're going to do, since this is 16.5 inches, is you want to have enough to fold over on all of the edges around, so you're completely surrounding all of the nylon webbing. And we have a sample, don't we, Joelle?
We do. So this is what that's going to look like once you've encased, I guess is the best way, the webbing. This is some white webbing that we used for contrast, and this is actually a cuff, but same thing.
Oh, it's so comfortable.
Yeah. So you'll see that is your seam allowance folding over your webbing.
Absolutely. And so this is a raw edge, but you really can't tell. And
right.
The finished product will have this right over the top, so it will be all hidden. So what you want to do is to add a 1/2 inch seam allowance on all your edges. So since this is 16.5 inches and 1.5 inches wide, we are going to cut a piece of Minky that is 2.5 inches wide and 17.5 inches long.
Right.
And then we will do the exact same thing with our fabric. And our fabric materials, again, the ribbon and the webbing. So what we're going to do is lay it out, and my mat has a ruler, but you could use just a regular standard ruler. And I'm gonna go to 17.5 inches. And what I'm gonna do, not everybody has the rotary cutter, so I'm just gonna use my scissors. I'm gonna first cut a straight line because you want it to be straight.
Right. Make sure all of the fraying and everything's kind of cut away. There you go.
Then we're gonna measure it to 17.5, no, that's wrong. The webbing is 16.5 inches.
Oh yeah, the Minky's 17.5. So the webbing will be the length that you want around your neck, which when you're measuring, you need to be mindful of where your snap is going to be also.
Yes.
So the webbing is 16.5. The Minky will be 17.5 due to seam allowance.
Folding over, right.
Okay.
So this I have cut now to 16.5 inches just with my scissors. I just cut it. Now, my son, when he does these, he will take a lighter or a candle and he will lightly singe the end of this. It keeps it from fraying. But we're going to encase it in the Minky, so I don't think it's necessary. It's good that he does it because if he wants to get a little rougher with it or use it for when he's active, he's a kid, that's fine. You can totally do that. I'm not going to do it.
Right, but you
throwing
can.
Caution to the wind.
I think it'll be fine.
I think so. So now we're going to take our ribbon and we're going to do the same thing. Now we do need the seam allowance on either side. This is going to be top stitched. So we're not going to fold it over here or here, but on our edge, you see where it's raveling a bit? We're going to cut that off. We're going to cut it to 17.5 inches. Right here. And then what we'll do before we top stitch it is fold each end over 1/2 inch so it'll lay nice and flat. Okay, we're ready to start assembling that quickly.
Yay, very fast. It's a very easy project.
It is. So you will notice that your Minky generally has a beautiful luxurious side and just a fluffy side. So you want the fluffy side next to your webbing.
So fluffy side up, put the webbing on top of it.
Okay. And then I'm going to bring it up and show you, and then we'll go to the sewing machine. I'm going to use the sewing machine. I'm just folding it over just that 1/2 inch. And what I'll do is I will do the long edges first, and then once that's done, we will tuck in the short edge and stitch that. So we're going to pause and go over to the sewing machine.
Be right back.
Okay, we're back. So what we're doing now is I am going to just pin the webbing to the Minky so that I can put it under my sewing machine. Now you can use regular pins. Since I mentioned before I'm a quilter, I happen to have quilt clips, so I'm going to use those because they're handy, but you don't have to. Any pin will do, and some people may feel comfortable not pinning at all. Go for it. Do your thing.
Live dangerously.
That's right.
Those are so stinking cute.
I know, I love these things. Worthwhile investment if you do this a lot.
I don't quilt and I don't do this a lot, but I may have to have some of those.
I think
just in case.
You know what these are great for?
Lots of things.
They are super great for when you take your socks off, pin them together, and put them through the wash. You don't have to match your socks.
Oh my gosh, you know what else they would be so cute? I've used many clothespins on a wire in the laundry room that I just pin up a lost mate until the other one, you know, will eventually find its way there. Then they're not buried under a pile of clothes.
Does that happen?
It does.
Oh, it doesn't happen at my
I only leave them there for a certain amount of time though. If the mate doesn't come, it gets shipped out.
I generally, unless I clip them together, my socks are one-time use. That's the truth, because I don't do laundry at my house, so they never come back. Okay, so you can see even that I haven't pinned this exactly even. Sorry, let me stay up here so you can see. That's fine, because it's going to all be covered up by the ribbon.
Oh yeah, that's a great point. It does not have to be professional quality at this point.
Nope.
But you guys are witnessing a professional do some work.
Hilarious.
She's modest.
Okay. So Minky has some stretch to it, so you want to just make sure that you have everything laying down. I'm going to slide it under the needle. Again, you do not have to have a sewing machine. You could hand stitch this.
Or fabric glue.
Or fabric glue.
But we recommend sewing if possible, I'd say. Yes?
Yes. Okay, so you can see that I have everything tucked in. I'm going to very slowly get started. I'm going to tack my stitch. And then I'm going to slowly advance. Now, you will notice that this machine is very old. It's older than me. It was my mother's sewing machine. And it still works fine. You do not need anything fancy. See, I'm just tucking it down and advancing slowly. And I'm just going to do a straight line. And you can see the seam is really hidden in the Minky.
Carrie's going to continue to do this on both sides and on the ends?
Well, I'll come back and show you how to tuck the ends.
Okay. Okay, we're back, and now Carrie's going to do the ends. See how nicely the sides are?
The sides lay down really nicely, so what we're going to do is just tuck in the ends. You want to have a fairly square corner, so I'm tucking a little bit envelope-y and then down. And so you see you have a nice square corner.
Ta-da!
All right, do that to both sides, and then we will come right back to you. Okay, kids, we're back. And you can see I've just folded down my edges here and stitched them closed. And you can see this is no fancy job by any means. Doesn't have to be. We're going to cover it. Now, all of the edges are covered with the Minky. It's so soft.
It is so soft.
We are ready to put our ribbon down. That's going to just cover everything up. But you need to take care of your ends here. So what I'm doing is I'm just finger pressing a 1/2 inch. So we have this nice smooth crease. That's going to look so nice. We're going to set it here right at the end of our collar. And you can pin. Again, I'm going to use my little clippy pins. But any pin will do. Clothespins, or if you're brave, hey, no pinning whatsoever. I'm not that brave.
I would not be that brave.
And then you're going to lay it down so that you try and get it fairly even bordered. Don't worry too much if it's not, because as you wear it anyway, your neck is going to push down some of the Minky as it just kind of conforms to you.
Right.
You can see that that one is well loved.
For instance, I don't know if you can see this, but it's pushed down on the edges because this has been worn frequently. Daily. Yeah.
For a long time. And in fact, he just hand washes it when he takes a shower. He'll just hand wash it, rinse it out, and let it air dry, and then it goes right back on. And it's several months old.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's been a while.
Yeah, he loves it. Okay, kids, you can see I have this clipped. There's a little bit of gap here. You'll see that when you turn it, you want it to have that. So there will be a little bit, we call that easing in. We're going to start at an end and top stitch down. Now in quilting, we have a thing called stitching in the ditch. And if you look closely, you can see there's a little line at the edge of this ribbon. Try to stay in that when you're doing your top stitching because it will be visible. But don't worry too much about it because not that many people are going to be that close to your collar. Well, you do you. Who am I to judge? So we're going to line it up very carefully, go right at the edge. And then I like to send my needle down to make sure I'm in the right spot and go very slowly. And I will backstitch one stitch just to hold it. And go all the way across in as straight a line as I can handle. And I'm going slowly. There we go. So with the needle down, I'm going to pick up my presser foot and pivot around and put my presser foot back down, and you can see this line. We're going to try and stay as close in that line as we can. Don't stress it if you fall out of it, just don't go off the ribbon. That's the most important thing. You want to top stitch the ribbon down. Okay kids, so you can see what I have done is I have top stitched the ribbon on. Let me close up for you. You can see it's just right along the edge, encasing all the way around. And now the next thing we're going to do is put the dangle on. So what you're going to do is fold it in half this way to find your center, and then kind of eyeball it. And then to put your hole, you're going to use an awl. And you can get these in your snap setter kit, or you can just buy these at any hardware store. And you're going to go through the center and poke it. Now it'll take you a few times, so we've gone ahead and done it to save time. But just in and out, and then kind of wiggle it around to enlarge the hole slightly. I'm ashamed of her. Do not give her any attention for this. Shame on you. So then what you're going to do is you're going to take your dangle. I hate to even say it, but you're going to screw it on. So thread it on. See, this is, you can tell that Miss Joelle drinks during the day. She doesn't. It just comes naturally. So you screw that on, and you have a perfect dangle for your collar.
Yay!
Now, let me put this around your neck. Oh, does that feel comfortable, Miss Joelle?
It's so soft. I love it. So cute.
So what we're going to do next is we are going to set our snaps. And it is the exact same thing. So we're going to find the center, poke a hole, just straight down, and wiggle it around. Once you create your hole, you will take your nylon snap and set it and squeeze it together with your snap setting tool. Or you can hand sew it in if that's what you're doing. You could use Velcro if you needed to.
Oh yeah, I didn't think about that, but I don't think it would hold as well, right?
You would have to use a slightly longer strip. It might not hold as long because of the lint from the Minky. And just make sure you put the soft side of the Velcro to what would be touching your neck.
Right.
So at this point, we will take a break, and I'm going to go ahead and set these snaps, and we will show you the finished product. Alright, so I have set the bottom snap, and now we're going to set the top snap. Now notice what I've done. The smooth side goes to your neck, and then we're going to fold it, have a little overlap, and then the smooth side for the next snap will go out, and the snappy part will go in. And I know that seems obvious, but I have placed snaps wrong many, many times. So again, we're going to eyeball the center, poke right through, and again, wiggle it around so that you have space to put your snap. It's got a pokey bit. Put the pokey bit right through where you just made the hole with the awl. Take your snap, find that hole bit, snap setter, carefully place it over, make sure it's centered, and give it a squeeze. Now, if we have done this correctly, it will fold over, overlap slightly, and you can snap it.
Beautiful. Yay. Love it.
Right. Let me put it on to demonstrate. Ah! Ah,
It's lovely.
now, Joelle, blue is not really my color. I'm more of a purple gal.
We could use something.
If it had something from the dangly bit.
You do need a dangly bit. What about a purple moth? That's backwards, but you get the idea.
A purple moth charm?
Yay! From Moms of Furries.
That is beautiful.
It's so cute. Let's see it on.
All right. Well, it's going to take a while for me to thread it on, but why don't you talk while I do it?
What shall I say?
Well, what are we going to do with this lovely collar?
Remember how we said there was a surprise at the end? So, here's what we're going to do. We want to give you guys something because, you know, we're Moms of Furries and moms do things for their furries. So, if you guys comment, share our video, we're going to do a random generator and pick one of our lovely comments. Oh, it's a comment. So make sure you comment, but you could share too. But anyway, so
please share.
So we'll pick someone from our comments to send this to. So if you are selected, we will reach out to you to get some information so we can send this to you. It will be your own personal Moms of Furries collar. We hope you like that a lot. We're really excited about doing it.
We are.
You know, we love you guys and we just want to show you a little appreciation. So that's what we're going to do. Make sure you comment. Make them nice because we get sad when we see negative
Oh, but
things.
we've only received love, so that's awesome, but yes.
It's been really great. You guys are awesome. Like, it's been wonderful.
Yeah.
I mean, we had our whole video about how much we love you. And you're probably sick of hearing how much we love you, but whatever. You're great.
All right, I'm almost done. Are you ready for the final reveal?
Yeah, I'm ready. Are you guys ready? It's so cute.
We love it. So if you are interested in this collar that was just made with love by a moth, shipped to you, leave us a comment and we are going to wait 1 week and then we are going to randomly select one commenter and send this your way.
Yay.
Thanks for watching all the way through. We love ya.
Thanks, guys.